Hi. There's a plane going over, and it's probably interrupting my voice, but I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in the woods, so you guys are probably going to hear cicadas and birds and airplanes and froggies, but that's all part of where I live right now. I live with my parents right now, and they live, it's a pretty nice house, not gonna lie. I like it here. It's peaceful. But I decided to start making videos again where I'm talking. Not that anyone really cares about what I have to say. I decided to start making videos every time I come out to the porch to smoke a cigarette, because I smoke, and it's a very bad, nasty habit. Please don't pick it up. And I'm trying to quit, but it's not really working out for me, so I'm just trying to cut back. And yeah, I know everyone's probably like, oh yeah, good luck with just cutting back, because you're not going to just cut back, you're just going to keep smoking like you have been, and you're going to get cancer, and you're going to die. So, for anyone who wants to see me die, it's a slow process. So anyway, I'm probably going to call this like smoke time, puff time, cig time, something, because it's a time where when I smoke cigarettes, I think, for this cigarette, I'm going to talk about what I've been going through. I suggest, if you don't want to hear a boring ramble, you stop watching this. Because I can be boring. Welcome to me. But lately I've been going through this time period where I don't know who I am. Yay! It's such a lovely feeling, trust me. It's great not knowing who you are and what you're supposed to be doing with your life and where you're supposed to be going and blah blah blah. So, it's a fun time. You should try it. Actually, most of you probably will eventually. Some like to call it a midlife crisis or a quarterly life crisis because I'm only 20, but I like to call it a growing period. I know, cliche as hell, right? Yeah. But I don't want to think of this as a crisis. I want to think of this as a get to know who you are and your new boundaries. And people grow and people change and people evolve and people mature, and that's just what I'm going through right now. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be some mature, evolved, sophisticated person when I get through this process, but I'm going to be different. I'm just going to go out and say that. I'm going to be different. And I think so many people get this idea in their head that change is bad, change is wrong, change is always, negative and blah blah blah. It's not. Okay? It's not. And I'm saying that to validate myself. But change is actually, it can be a good thing. When you're not doing things that are healthy for yourself and you're not taking care of yourself and you need to, it's a good thing. And I'm literally talking to myself right now because I've had trouble at coming to terms with the fact that I'm changing, and because people get used to who you are and they don't like it. They don't like when you change and they get really confused and it hurts, and I know. And so all the people I've hurt, I'm sorry. And I've told you this before, but I really, genuinely, I'm sorry that it's hurt you, but this for me is a growing process, and I need to do it. I need to do something for myself. And I know a lot of people may think that's selfish, but I don't want to be thought of that way. I just need to take care of myself. So, that's what's happening. And I don't like not knowing things. A lot of people know that. I hate not knowing things, actually. It really bothers me when I don't know stuff. So, of course, not knowing me, I really am bothered by this, and it's really bringing me down. And a lot of people might think, well, hey, why don't you know yourself? You're 20. I mean, you've lived for 2 decades. I think it's decades. I don't know. You've lived for 20 years. You should know a lot about yourself. Okay, yeah. Valid point. But most of us block out a lot of our childhood. And most of us don't remember a lot of our childhood. The older we get, the less we remember. A lot of my childhood is remembered through what my mom tells me I did. You know, when you were 2, you did this. When you were 3, you did this. Your first word was silo. Yeah, I know. Silo. What the hell? Some of you probably don't even know what a silo is. It's what they keep hay in at farms. And no, I didn't grow up on a farm, but my grandpa used to always show me these farming magazines with landscapes and shit, and they had silos in them, and he would always show me, and one day, apparently, I don't remember this myself, but I remember from them telling me, I was like, silo, and they were like, oh, first word! So, yeah, and like, apparently when I was like 4, one of my aunts came down from Gastonia, and was like, showing me a lizard. She was like, look at the lizard, and I was like, that's not a lizard, that's a salamander. Let me ponder, you know, and she was like, what the hell is a salamander? And I was like, that, you know. So apparently, I knew what a salamander was when I was like 4, but I don't remember that. I just know that when my mom told me that, so it's almost like your memory of childhood can get almost distorted. I don't want to put it that way, but sometimes it can be. It can be glorified. It can be altered, you know, and you don't remember how you felt. You don't remember what you went through. You don't remember, you know, who you were or how you were when, you know, you were 6. You know, but some people can. Some people can remember all the way back to then. I can't. The furthest I remember is when I was 13, around my birthday, and we moved out here. And I had to go to Garner High School. I didn't know a single soul at Garner, and I felt so out of place, you know. Typical freshman, right? So, I remember that vaguely, and I remember high school, and all of that fun stuff. And obviously I remember from 14 and up, you know. And that's not very long, if you think about it in the big picture kind of way. That's not a long time. So obviously, it's fair to say that I don't really know who I am, because I haven't really known myself that long. If that makes any sense, you know, because when you're a kid, you're not trying to figure out who you are. Well, to a certain degree, but you're not trying to figure out where you're going to go in life, and you're not trying to figure out, you know, well, what am I going to be when I grow up, you know? Most people say, well, I'm going to be a vet, or I'm going to be a firefighter. I said I was going to be a fire engine, apparently. What does that even mean? I wanted to be the truck? Okay. That's weird. But, yeah, you know, little kids, they say what they want to be because they've seen it and it looks cool, you know? But when you get older, it's like, you know, there's a whole, well, what college am I going to go to? What am I going to major in? You know, what? It's just really confusing. Life is tough. And there's a lot of pressure in life. Not just peer pressure, but, you know, your parents put a lot of pressure on you. You know, you have to go to school and you have to be smart and you have to get this. And it's just, it's a lot of weight on you. And that's where the whole, you know, self-care comes in. It's like you got to take care of yourself sometimes. You can't let your emotions lead your life, and you can't let, you know, people run your life. You have to run your own life. So, a lot of people don't. And a lot of people go through life being pushed around and being stepped on and not being assertive, being passive, you know. And a lot of people go through life being aggressive and, you know, shoving their ideas down people's throats. And I just want to be in between. And I know I've had this whole, you know, if you guys follow me on Tumblr and if you guys, you know, keep up with me, or even like if you just go to my page, at the top it says perfection doesn't exist. I have it tattooed on my body. But I am a perfectionist to the extreme. Which is really ironic, you know. It's kind of funny to me. But I am. I want to be balanced. I want to have, you know, I want to have my emotions in check, but I also want to have some logic to where, you know, I don't let my emotions run my life, but I'm not a boring, logical person. I want to be in the middle. I want to have some emotion. I don't want to be a robot, but I don't want to be this ball of emotional wreck and not know what I'm doing and have mood swings and flip out, you know. And, I mean, obviously I'm going to have that, you know, but I want to be well-rounded. I want to have everything that is good in a person. And I can't have all that. You know, everyone's got flaws, but here I am saying perfection doesn't exist, and then I'm over here like, well, crap, I want to be perfect. So, that's my downfall. So yeah, I love when I ash all over myself. But that's a lot of what I've been going through, you know, and my therapist told me to think about, you know, what do you know for sure? Because, I mean, everybody knows things for sure about themselves, like, I won't tolerate this, or I won't, you know, do this, or I will strive to be this, you know, or you know things, like, I know I'm a lesbian, I know you know, I have trust issues, I know that I can be a very caring person, and it can wind up being bad for me, because I can care too much. And I'm not saying it's bad to care a lot, but I'm saying it can be bad, depending on how much you dive down into the swimming pool of care. See, I use a lot of weird analogies, but it's like a swimming pool, you know? When you go all the way to the bottom, your ears start to pop, you start to lose air, your chest feels tight, and you just feel, like, smothered, you know? So, like, if the emotion or the act of caring is like a big Olympic swimming pool, and you swim all the way to the bottom, you submerge yourself in it, and you care so much about people, and you want to help everybody, and you're just so concerned with everybody and everything that you don't even leave enough time for yourself, you're gonna run out of air. You're gonna drown. That's like they say on airplanes, like if the plane starts to crash or if something goes wrong and the oxygen bags fall down, they say you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first and then help your, you know, your neighbor or your flight buddy or your single-serving passenger, single-serving friend. If you guys get my reference, congratulations, you have a great taste in books and movies. But I sounded like Tony the Tiger. They're great! So, anyway, that was scary. But yeah, you gotta put your own oxygen mask on first, and then you can help, you know, your friend or your flight mate or whatever you want to call it. Then you can help them put their mask on and help them come down. But you cannot help somebody unless you're okay and you're stable. And that's my whole thing. Like, there's the whole saying you can't be happy unless, or you can't make someone happy unless you're happy, or you can't love someone unless you love yourself, you know. But then there's the whole debate, don't love yourself too much, and, you know, blah. So there's a lot of standards that society has set and the world has set that we try and follow that we can't, you know, because we're human and we're gonna mess up and we're gonna have flaws and all of that. So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out the right kind of balance for that, and I know it's gonna take time and it's gonna take dedication and it's gonna be tough work, because life's not just gonna hand you a pamphlet on who you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to go, and they're not going to draw you a direct line on, you know, how to get there. It's going to be like this, you know, all twisted and mangled and like something spit on you, you know, and it's all confusing. So, I know it's not going to be easy, and I know it's going to be hard, but I'm trying to do it, you know. So that's kind of what I've been going through right now. And if anybody who's watching this is going through a I don't want to say midlife crisis, I don't want to say crisis at all, but if they're going through a growing period and they're having those growing pains, I feel you. I know where you're coming from. It's hard, but I'm talking to myself too, don't get down on yourself. You can do it. It's just going to take time, and it takes support from others, and sometimes it takes you removing yourself from situations that you can't handle in your current state. And sometimes you just got to take a step back and observe and just watch, and you can't submerge yourself too much because you're going to run out of oxygen. So don't overwork yourself. Don't overcare. But don't undercare, and don't underwork. You see, there's just this constant balance, and my therapist constantly says, you know, the black and white thinking. Don't think in black and white. I'm not trying to be racist, but don't think in black and white. Don't think either it's this way or it's this way, and there's no other way, and there's no in between, and it's this way and this way. You can't think like that, or you're going to be all screwed up. You know, there is an in between. There is a gray area. There is a, I like to call it a rainbow area, because yay, gay pride. But there's an in between. You know, if you mix all the colors together, you'll get a dark color, black or brown. And if you take all the colors away, you'll get white. So obviously, it makes more sense to say black, white, and rainbow than black, white, and gray, because, man, gray is boring, right? So that's what I've kind of been going through lately. So expect more of these videos. Like I said, when I smoke, I think. So when I think, why not document it? Why not put it down? Yeah, so that was smoke time, puff time. I'm leaning towards puff time, even though it sounds like I'm smoking a blunt. Puff time, bitches. I'll see you guys next time on puff time. Puff time. Dick time? I could use dick. Flick my dick. I don't know. Flame on. Pyro time. Lighter time. Cancer stick time. I don't know.